Hey y'all, I just want to talk about something real quick. Growing up sheltered is horrible. It was, I'm really trying to, I really don't know what to say. Like, I really feel awkward. Growing up sheltered, I really wish I didn't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel awkward, and words cannot describe how horrible that feeling is. I genuinely don't know how to connect with people, and it's like it's seemingly only getting not worse. It just I've never really known how to connect with people, or at least I feel like I don't know how to connect with people, and it just hasn't changed. Like aside from like work and school and like other situations where I'm forced to talk to people, I don't know how to build connections. Like, I don't know how to connect and talk to people outside of that. And it's just horrible. And then I just don't, I'm trying to like, because I'm not okay. Because I'm really trying to sit here and process life right now. And it's really, I just feel like awkward and embarrassed and embarrassing to be navigating life like this. It's so weird. I feel like everyone, and I mean everyone around me, seemingly has life not figured out, but they've gone through certain things that I genuinely have never gone through. Like I'd say I don't have a childhood. I didn't have a childhood. Yes, I went to school, but that was it. It was literally school and home. There was no me hanging out with friends after school. There was me going to friends' house after school. My mama wasn't gonna let me go to nobody else's house. I couldn't even go to the movies with my friends until I was in the ninth grade, until I was in high school. She didn't even want me to fucking date nobody. I had to lie to her and tell her that I was going out with one of my male friends to the movie theaters just so I can go see a movie with one of the girls that I was going to. One of the girls, like it wasn't only one, but it was with the girl that I wanted to go to with. Like ridiculous, like literally, and it's so like I don't know. It's. I feel pathetic. Like I really do feel pathetic because I feel like I'm living. Oh, this is so embarrassing. I feel like I live vicariously through movies or like through stories that people tell me. Like they tell me, oh, when I grew up, I did this, that, and the third. Or like when I see people like in movies, I don't know, having flashbacks to their childhood where they was running around playing, hanging out, going over people's houses, or like when they grown and they going out and hanging out with people, they can go over somebody's house. I just lived through that because I have never had that experience before. Like it's so weird, and I'm wondering like somebody told me something a couple years ago. I don't talk to that motherfucker no more, but I was hanging out with a friend at the time, but we always went out to do something. Like we always went out to where the fuck did we go? Like we went out to do yoga, we went out to eat, we went out to go hike. Like we always went out somewhere to go hang out. But we never went to like each other's houses until one day and he looked at me, he was like, you know, you can just come over here and chill, right? We don't always have to go out and do something. And that made me realize I don't know how to do that. Like, what the fuck? I genuinely have not had one moment. Well, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, until the 12th grade. But before that, I haven't had a moment where I had been over anybody else's house but family. Literally. So as an adult, I don't know what to do when I go over people's houses. I'm like, what do you do? Do you just sit there? Do you talk? I don't mind being in people's company and being quiet, and that's another thing. But I don't mind being in people's company and being quiet, but I literally, it's always like me in my head. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? I can't just enjoy the moment because I'm like, I've never done this before. That's so embarrassing. Now back to that. With me being alone, I have gotten I'm so extremely hyper independent. It's not even funny. I literally say I will before I ask somebody for help, and I don't need to because I will figure it out myself. I can't depend on nobody else because I don't know how to ask anybody for help because I'm used to being alone. Like, you don't understand. I had a sister. Like, I grew up with a sister. It was just me, my mom, and my sister growing up. But like, we wasn't really in each other's faces all the time. Actually, we were kind of like this growing up. But once I'm in my room, it's only an hour to saw them two or the people at school. That's it. So I got used to just being alone. And even then, like in high school, high school, middle school, I know the motherfuckers was like, oh, that's a weird ass motherfucker. People was cool with me. I had friends, but I definitely it was giving weird. I'm still weird. So I'm like, bitch, what the fuck do you do? Like, I literally don't know what to do. I don't know how to talk to people. This is so fucking weird. But anyways, so I got used to doing things. I made my little videos like in my house and like in my room, and I was just, quiet. I could be kind of shy. Fast forward, now that I'm older, like I said, that hasn't changed. Mine is really the videos, but it's like I just know how to be by myself because I just don't know how do you hang out with other people? It's just so weird. Like I can always strike up a conversation. Well, for the most part, strike up conversations with a stranger because I know I ain't never gonna see it again. But it's like if I'm trying to talk to somebody or make a friend, I don't know how to do that. I literally do not know how to make friends. It's so horrible. It's really horrible. Like I really do feel pathetic, honestly. And then look at me now, like years later, I'm not. People need to don't shelter your children. If you have kids or you want to have kids, don't shelter them. This is horrible. This is literally horrible because now let me tell you something. One thing about me, I'm going to leave. I genuinely think, like I said, I feel like I'm a nomad. I really think that's because I grew up in the same house around the same people my whole life. And literally, I haven't had a childhood I couldn't explore. Literally, I had the stereotypical, oh, you go to college and just start acting a fucking fool. I wasn't 100% wildin', but let me tell you something. Me and alcohol, we have a bad relationship because it was too much dealing with everything. Like, I didn't wild out 100%, but hell, I feel like I'm low key wilding out loud it's just every time I just now it seems like nowadays I can't talk right now because it's like all of these thoughts have been just brewing and they're just coming at the same time. Like, but for the most part, these last couple of days I've been thinking about the life that I never had. Maybe that just it wasn't mine to have in the first place, but it's like I keep thinking about the life I never had. Like the childhood I never had. Do you know how embarrassing it is? I'm irritated. I'm so irritated. I'm really annoyed. And like I don't want this to become a therapy session, but it's kind of like being sheltered from the world. I don't understand why people do that because it's like, what the fuck? How are you going to raise an animal in a cage all your life and then one day open the cage and then throw them out in the wild? How are you going to shelter your kid their whole life and then just expect them to not fucking be like me as an adult? A fucking mess. And it's just like, ooh, literally, it's so bad. I'm like, ooh, not only did I leave the country, but now I'm like, I don't ever want to go live with my mother ever again. Like, I don't ever, you know how people are like, oh, they got to reset, they go home with their parents so they can stack their money. No, I will struggle before I do that. Because every time, I feel like if I go back home, that's not even my home. But if I go back home, I'm going to regress to that little child that can't do shit. And it's just so frustrating. It's just like I feel like I'm trying to catch up and like just live for the first time. Literally, it's embarrassing. I feel like I'm doing everything for the first time as an adult, and it's like, oh my god, it's even worse when the person that fucking shelters you from the world calls you naive. Why do you think I'm naive? Because I grew up in the fucking bubble. I don't know. All I can do though is just live my life though, for real. I feel like all of this is really embarrassing. Like I do feel embarrassed, like learning how to do things for the first time as an adult. But I'm like, I would rather be embarrassed than for me to just stay clueless. Honestly, truly.